And we're live again. Cool. Right. I still have to do a go live notification, so please be patient for just like 5 seconds. Live 3 hours. Yes. Alright, cool. That's done. Cool. So it's been a week again. Welcome back. And we are still on the text ring of the Hyena Bard. Last week we made some pretty good progress with painting in light information and doing some of the drawn lines on top of it to really give it that hand painted feel. I really like how the shoulder is coming out. Torso still needs a lot of work. I am aware that the values of the shirt are off, mainly the color. I'm not quite sure how to fix that at the moment. Pants are also looking decent, probably need more shadow, like the occluded areas. And then we were working on the bandages for quite a while, at least on one end. And we're slowly getting there. So we're learning quite a bit. I'm happy with that. The thing I'm least happy about with right now, and it is a major focal point of the character, is the mask. So I think I want to tackle that one today. So off to a great start with a error message from Substance. What are you doing? Autosaving? Okay. Great. Please don't autosave too often, because we are getting there with the layers, and every brush stroke is saved individually. So this project is getting a little bit big on my computer, but I should be able to handle this. Okay. So yeah, the face is a major area of the character. I think I got in some good practice with painting the torso a little bit. Now I want to see if I can get that mask and the hair to give that a level up. So we'll be working on that for today. Because, yeah, mainly due to the light, getting quite a bit of like brighter areas in here that I don't want. It looks off. I need to find a way to fix that. Okay. But my biggest gripe with this medal is that if we look at the reference image, just the way that the paint is chipping, the way where the highlights are, that this mask doesn't look anything like that. So that is something that I want to fix. Just as a starter. Gold medal. Right, we're in here, the mask. Gold group. Base diffuse, breakup, curvature. I think from a previous session that we had is that sure, we can have these clouds to break up the diffuse, but I think for this hand painted look it just adds more noise, so I'm inclined to just get rid of these clouds. Curvature as well, because sure, we got some curvature as a starter, and then we tried to paint over it, but I'm not getting the result that I want. Same for painting out the mask of where the gold is chipping away. This doesn't look stylized, so this is something that I want to fix first and foremost. Okay, so again, trying to get that to just read better with the concept of this one. So For starters, I do believe I just want to give it just a regular base diffuse, and I want to work on getting this mask to read a lot better. Do you think I want to do this with a square brush? Just looking at the concept, be a nice one. Knife paint, maybe? Knife paint heavy, how does that look? Okay, I think I can work with this, maybe rotate a little bit. Okay, so I'm immediately not happy with this because it's a very soft transition and I really need something with a hard transition. Okay, when in doubt, we go back to hard brush. Can I give it a square alpha? Hey Ro, welcome on in. How are you doing? I'll work with this, see how far this is gonna get us. Doing good? Nice. It's good to hear. See if I can get that follow path, turn that on. Your internship has started. Hey, nice. Yeah, I was about to ask about that. Day 3 of your internship. Nice. How's your introduction? I hope someone's guiding you. Space Rabbit Studio. Hey, good morning. Are you in a position of 3D scanner and 3D artist? Nice. Teach you a bit of 3D scans, really cool, but really hard for me. Really enjoying the process. Yeah, 3D scanning. Are you doing like small object scanning or like full body actor scanning? Because I've done the latter. I've had to do full body scans of actors that came on site, instructing them how to stand, calibrating the entire machine. Depends on order from customers. Ah, gotcha. Still doing small things. Ah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that will make sense given that you're an intern. Interns gotta start small. Ready? Seniors had to scan the whole cow. Oh boy. Wait, as in getting an actual cow to stand still long enough for you to scan it? Because food. Yeah, an actual. Oh. Yeah, try to explain to a cow, like, hi, I need you to stand like this and then not move. Took 3 days to scan a cow. Yep. Is there a fair amount of geo cleanup you do post-scan? That entirely depends on the quality of your cameras and the amount of overlap that you have going on in your like in your scan. Yeah, so the scanning that I had to do was of humans. We got actors to show up at the company, and then we had to do either a full body in costume, or we had to get them into a skin-tight outfit, so we have their entire body, have them stand in a pose, and then scan them like that. So we would use Marvelous Designer afterwards to recreate a costume for them, if it was something that's like a little bit more out there. Areas of complications would always be the armpits, near the crotch. Those were always the biggest two, just because there was fewer overlap over there. And then especially if for some reason one of the cameras turned out to be blurry, that could absolutely just annihilate a piece of the scan and then cause us to have a lot of cleanup area. Oh, and people with curly hair. Curly hairs and scans do not mix well. And after that, we had to do facial expressions and articulations such as mouth articulations like A, E, O, U, E. Just to get all of the mouth shapes over there, and like frown, eyes open, eyebrows up, eyebrows down, smile, sneer. I think after a while we ended up with like a close to 30-page checklist. Not so much difficult. Luckily we had a good tech team that if something was wrong with the cameras, we could call upon them. And then we'd sort it out rather quickly. Biggest thing that tend to go wrong is having an actor that's just confused about like, okay, hang on, you want me to act but just stand still and only do the facial expression? Like, yep, that's all we need, that's all we want. Doesn't sound very fun to you? It definitely was a little bit more out there in terms of, okay, not very much artistry and literally just running down a checklist. But you learned a lot from it, and it was fun. Yeah, and then the result that you get from it at the end, very, very, very clean human faces. Sure, you still want to do like some artistry on them, because especially if they're like certain roles, if they have certain roles that they need to fulfill, you may want to like make them. You may want to make the neutral look a little bit more smiling. That type of stuff. Just try to follow a little bit, just to make the scratches look a little bit more intense, or intentional rather than random damages. Scanning can be extremely rewarding, but trying to get 200 cameras to go off at the same time, a lot more difficult. Let me tell you that. Going for a hand painted look on this one, yeah. So this time again. Last week I got the hand painted. I'm really happy about this shoulder and like the way that these belts look. So now I'm just trying to get the mask to agree and like work more with it. First up, scuff marks. After that, I really want to paint in the darker golds so that we have a lot more volume. But I want to get the scuffed wear and tear to read a lot better first. These look super tight. Yeah, thank you. Again, I like to do them out by hand, and then when you look at it, that you can make sense of them. Fortunate that his eyebrows clipping through, so I'll just have to look at it like this, and then also this one a bit more. Should feel in there. So over here it's we have some plane changes, so maybe it like cracked along the edge. Use Maya, you must be industry. Yeah, so I do use Maya. That is my primary tool because that's what I've been taught in at university. So yeah, this project is mainly, the high poly was done in ZBrush, the retopo was done in Maya, and now we're texturing inside Substance Painter. And then as for me being industry, I have done this professionally, but I have not yet worked in any like large-scale AAA companies. We're still working on it. Use Maya as well? Nice. What do you make? The industry is a mess. Yes, the current state of the industry is extremely concerning. Yeah, we keep trying because it's the dream. "25 years, you've never seen it like this." Oh, you've been around the block for a while then. I feel like this is looking a lot more intent. Or with intent. Okay, I don't like how it's like 1, 2, 3, 3 evenly spaced things, or 3 evenly spaced scratches, so... a bit. Calling 25 years a bit. Ooh. Yeah, nice. Welcome on in. Let's see. Where else do we have like metalware? Probably here at the bottom. Okay. Cool, so that's it for the edgeware. Let's see. So mask, cool. Here, but that doesn't quite matter because we're only working on the... Yeah, because in this mask, this is the main group. So down here, even though I accidentally brushed over the ear piercings and a little bit over the hair, because it's outside of this main mask, it doesn't actually show up. Okay. Let's see, because we are getting quite a bit of information from this fake light, but we can work with that. Though for now I'm gonna turn it off so I don't get distracted by it. And over here, phase diffuse, we'll just call it diffuse breakup. I'm gonna make this one a bit darker. I'm gonna color pick it. Oh, thank you very much for the follow, Space Rabbit Studio. Appreciate it. Okay, so we add a black mask. Toggle the mask on again. We add a white we add a paint to it because we're not going to do this with a. We're not going to do this with a generator. I want hand painted control on this one. So. Let me check where I want darker areas. So this. Call Space or Rabbit or Pix. Okay. I'll make a note on your name and I'll call you Space. Cool. So it's a nice little tool in Twitch where luckily you can now just add notes to people's names. So yeah, so now in my chat, or rather on my local screen, you're being shown as Space. That's nice. Cool. Try to get some of this shadow in here. I know I'm currently doing this without symmetry. I think I prefer that for this stage. Mainly so we get like the... Having it be perfectly symmetrical, I feel like we're leaving like, opportunities on the table. Doing this asymmetrical, you get that a little bit of asymmetrical playfulness. Yeah, and scuffs and scratches would be pretty asymmetrical. So again, I'm an individual that likes to work extremely clean and hit that symmetry button 100 times over. I really feel for more, what do you call them, like characters like this that are... This is a very chaotic looking character. So it would make sense for them to have like asymmetrical elements to it that will actually lean to the theme of, hey, this is a character that banged up 100 times, fixed the armor a couple of times. Like really get into that. Really get into that theme of it. Looking good, thank you. I'm happy that this character is turning out the way that they are. Let's see, curvature, I'll just rename. So again, this looks too generic. I don't want that. But I do like the intensity of the color. So I'm not going to change that. I'm just going to remove the mask that we had. Fill layer. The paint layer. And I'll just do it manually again. Now this is where we're going to be focusing on the edge highlights. So the reason why I'm swapping between material and base color. In base color, I can't see the edges. Back from advertisement. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I was just working on just keep painting in the shadows. And we're going to be working on the highlights now. So. Just got this bright metal. So again, the reason why I'm swapping between base color and material is with material, I can actually see where the edges are. Painter, it's such an amazing software. Yeah, Substance Painter is quite nice. Really appreciative of being able to paint on top of the model rather than I mean, okay, you said that you've been in this in your 25 years, so I'm gonna assume that you've been in the era of painting directly onto the UVs in something like Photoshop. Those days were fun, especially when you had warped UVs. Because back when I started, Substance Painter wasn't a thing yet. You would have to... Yeah, you were given a model, and then you'd open up Photoshop, and then just hope to God that you can understand UV layout, and that people actually did something like organization, such as like what I have over here. Grouping your elements and you being able to recognize what things are. Rather than, here's an automated UV layout. There's no recognizable land points at all. Good luck. Ah, cool. Thank you. Oh. Hey Deke. Welcome on in. And 8 months. Thank you so much. I like Deke. Deke's a good friend. You were an environment artist, so you did a lot of texture crams, and then repeating textures as well. Ah. You're a good friend. Got him. Ah. Thank you, Deke. Hand painting tileable textures. And then have them not look too repeating. Yeah, that was something. And now with the blur tool, just slightly... Yeah, okay, cool. Now this looks like a lot more intent, and then over here can we... Yeah, we're getting somewhere. This I like a lot. A lot of offset in Photoshop, yep. Ooh, the amount of times where I had to do that as well. At some point you just make a macro for it. 1K texture, offset by 512. Grab the clone brush, wipe out the cross where the seam is, and then offset by 512 again, save as, export next. A lot of fun. Oh, your geometry's done? Hey, nice. Wait, so you of your character. So you've settled on the hair as well? A lot of PlayStation 2 and Nintendo. Yeah, 1K texture is huge. So people running around with 4K textures on their avatars in VR chat now. Nice. Glad to hear that you got your hair working, Deke. Yep, melting when someone walks in and then... Hi, here's my character. It has 4K textures all loaded in. You're like, ah, cool. I was wondering why my computer was suddenly having trouble to load things. So... Okay, this is one thing that I still need to learn a lot. It's the technical loading of models. Like where to... Like when people start using words like draw calls, and like, okay, cool. I've heard those terms plenty of times, but I'm not 100% sure of what they actually mean and how I as a character artist can make sure that I'm running things as efficiently as possible. Yeah, when Deke walks in with her incredible dense pool toy valve. Yes, I've seen the wireframe on that one. It kills me. Damn, you fetch another material. That's a draw call. Yeah, so this character has accessories, body, eyes, and a guitar. So this will be 4 draw calls. Programmable pixel shader pipelines. Draw calls are more expensive than polygons. Ah. Yeah, I am aware that the polygons these days are cheaper than the materials that people keep making for them. Yeah, polygons are so cheap now. It's draw calls and shader complexity that are more to worry. Yeah, I've heard about that, but again, I know the words, but I'm not 100% certain as to, like, okay, what do they explicitly mean? That is something that I'll have to sit down for and then learn more about. Also, I've been zoomed in this entire time, so what does it look like? Getting there, maybe these highlights need to be a little bit brighter. Oh, hey the Brightinator, welcome on in. Complexity is just a shader cost. Since they're all programmable now, the shaders can end up being expensive based on the complexity of what they use. Or of what they're doing. Okay. Did I not put this on the paint layer? Well, this is what the distance is. Sorry, I always like having a tech department. Worked a little with graphics programmer. Did a lot of lighting in my days. Somewhat techy at the end of the art pipeline. The performance profiling. Okay. Yeah, I've only worked with a shader programmer directly once now. I've only ever had it happen once where they came back and they were like, "Hi, the hair. The second this character comes in and the amount of hair that's like on screen and the amount of pixels that need to be calculated because they have like curly hair, so there's a massive amount of alpha channels and everything is overlapping. The second that this character comes on screen, our performance just explodes. So we're gonna have to find a different method for this character, or really simplify the hair geometry, or literally just make it smaller so that it's less pixels. The character's name was Max Overdraw. Thank you, Deke. Yeah, but just the whole, oh yeah, cool, we can make this work. Okay, cool. You run a test, performance explodes, and you're like, slightly concerning. Looking at the deadline, how do we fix this? So I'm going all over the place with these things now. Texture's looking really good. Hey, thank you, Deke. But then, okay, as someone who is not technically inclined at all when it comes to materials, how do we go from, oh yeah, they're basically free on PlayStation 2 to alpha is the enemy in the current pipeline? Like, how, if it's not a 4-hour explanation, how do we get there? Because I'm always just curious to those type of things of like, okay, we figured it out. And we're back to it being the most expensive thing ever. Okay, slider wall attacks. So PlayStation 2, Wii, GameCube are all fixed function pipelines. So this means the function of how the lighting shading is done was fixed and was on the hardware. But like 3 variables. You could change what you could change, and that was it. Alpha sorting happened. part of the fix function, so done the hardware, not real compute time wasted. Okay, I'll have to sit on that sentence for a little second for it to drop. Forward to PlayStation 3 and forward remove the programmable pixel shaders. You could actually alter each pixel in a shader and program how it's altered. Alpha is now just part of the compute. It's much more expensive now. Okay. So just on a fundamental level, we changed how the alpha channel is read. Basically, a lot of what we do in shaders nowadays built into actual console, or a lot of what we do in shaders nowadays was built into the actual console hardware back in the day, making it much more performant, but also less flexible. Ah, okay. Yeah, Deke, she is extremely knowledgeable about this type of thing as well. Yeah, senior tech producer is what she is. A ton of tech art. Yep. That's Deke. She is amazing. And she also live streams. I'll give you a shout out. There we go. Everyone go check out Deke. She's an amazing friend, an amazing artist, and she also streams. Violently German though, wouldn't recommend. No, absolutely not. Everyone go follow Deke. Because not to get okay, so this is where the smudge brush is having a little bit of a field day, so I'll just manually set opacity. Just a dumb rabbit. I wouldn't call someone with 25 years of experience a dumb rabbit. So yes, they should absolutely have more than 24 hours in them. Okay, so we've been focusing on one side. Really want to punch in some extra shadows on the eye sockets. Actually, if I paint like this, yeah, because this is the main view that I'm always working in, because I look at the 3D model and the 2D view. But since we're only painting on the 3D model, I might as well just paint like this and get the extra screen space for people to look at. Trying to get into characters and animation now since you're on your own. Oh, cool. Also, this is where I started getting a lot less meticulous and more, again, smacking spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. I don't have a perfect workflow for this. Now it's just, okay, I see that this needs to get fixed. I make a new layer. I start working on that. So, yeah, it's not all as clean as it should be. Art is messy. Prime metal, so we get these highlights still in there. Never not be funny to have all this screen space real estate and we still work on a microscopic viewport in substance. Yeah, that's... Wait, hang on. No, there was a button. We discovered it by accident last week. Let me save before I hit this button and accidentally explode the scene. Me hitting save might have been a mistake. Tab. Yes, this was it. Look at all that screen space that we now have. I just... Properties of paint? Oh, wait. Okay, so here at the right, we have all of these menus. However, the way that OBS is capturing it, if I click on any of these, you can see the button highlighting, but the pop-up window isn't captured. So this would be me looking at a lot of interfaces, but stream not be able to see it. And again, I'm not doing full space or full screen capturing. I love that 3 of these menus have the same icon. If you're talking about these 3, I believe these are my own customs that I made. Yeah, these are like... Did I just get rid of them? Because there's supposed to be like some stuff up here. I guess I just deleted them. Great! Okay, cool. I'm not touching that interface anymore. Blame me instead. Yes, blame me for trying to make... They changed the interface. Back in 2020, they didn't have this. Now we have like all of these... Oh yeah, we have a list here. Sorry, no, I'm not gonna ramble on stream. This is a professional stream. Back in my day. Yes, back in my day. I have some of your favorite characters as buttons in my on the shelf. Now that you teach, I will eventually get a student who's like, hey, what does the Nick Wild button do? Ah. I remember I remember someone making a video of like, hi, here's Maya's secret interface. You enable it by typing in this code. It was just a simple mel code. And then you get this interface where it's like chair, car, character, dog, and it would just load in these geometry chunks. And quite a few people from my year were like, oh god, why is this... What version of Maya is this? Why isn't it working in my thing? I'm like... Oh. Deek, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Space. Thank you. Oh. Deek giving out another 5. Oh, thank you, Deek. Thank you very much for these subs. That is very generous of you. Get. Thank you, Deek. Thank you for destroying me. Great. I'm getting close to getting stun locked again. I'm not gonna get stun locked on stream. At least try not to. Thank you. That is extremely generous of you. Make sure that this follows lines. Okay. These are slightly darker now. Cool. So we have a hype train. Thank you very much. Cool. So we basically did a pass on the left side of the mask. Now we should probably do this on the right hand as well. Might have been easier if I had a way to toggle this hair on and off. We'll figure it out. Do you want to keep these highlights somewhat symmetrical? Or at least consistent? Probably a bit too long. And again, basically what I'm doing, if I scroll down here, I just keep hitting the X button, so I'm painting with black and white information, rather than keep going between the paint and the erase button. We got a hype train. have the button mash emote. That's a fun one. Blur this one. Pretty much just paint mask and painter, like fill layers, so much more. Yeah, so all of these are fill layers. It's just that I add a black mask and then I add a paint layer on top. So I am indeed only painting a mask right now so that afterwards, if it's required, I can just change it to whatever color is needed afterwards. So I've had a chat about that when we started with Substance Painter. The biggest strength of Substance Painter being that it is non-destructive. If you have everything separated on layers, you can always adjust colors by just adjusting the fill layer rather than repainting like the paint layer or trying to do something with a hue, saturation, or value adjustment. So that is one of the biggest strengths of Substance Painter. I hope that people will learn a thing or two from these, like just watching me work, and because that's something that I'm very much a learner that will learn things by watching other people do, like the whole monkey see, monkey do workflow. Yeah, I hope a couple of folks will learn a thing or two from this as well. Work like me. Happy to talk to another artist. Since I kind of work in solitude, it's nice to meet another artist. Yeah, that's also great about Twitch. Just have someone on your second monitor, and then just have someone to art with. I also find that extremely beneficial. Now from a distance, so I still feel like some of these colors can be pushed into higher contrast. This is currently only for this part of the mask. What if we also added? That'd be too much. Okay, I like that. Yeah, okay, so I think we just need more contrast. Contrast and gradients. So what I'm doing now is I'm grabbing from this layer. Paint in very roughly, and then with the eraser that I have on low flow and low opacity, and then I just blend it back in. Not a stencil. Missing a highlight. Now we're getting somewhere. Oh. Hey Marin, good morning. Welcome on in. How you doing? I feel like these gradients are a little bit too paintbrushy, so let me see if I can blend it. Again, this feels too random, no intent. So I'm gonna try and get them to read a bit better. Doing good. Hope that my day has been going well too. Yeah, my day's been going well as well. The weather is nice. I'm healthy. I slept well. Yeah, lab coat. Welcome on in. Yeah, I'm well. Okay. Let's see if we can add some of the paint strokes to this. Let me just clean up that outer edge. Let's see, where can we steal this from? Let's see. Body, somewhere out here, there should be a... I think we can get rid of the test now. These stripes are staying. These narrow pencil lines. I'm gonna go ahead and say that these are really like causing it to look stylized. Copy. Back to accessories. I'll just put them up top. Stripes. We get rid of this paint layer because it's no longer required. Add a black mask. Paint. Because I got rid of my tabs, let's see. All library pencil. Nope. Oh, there we go. Pencil. Set the size to 0.15. Oh, 15? Up one to it. Alright, cool. That works. Now we're just gonna go over the edges. Turn on smooth, because me and drawing straight lines are still not the best of friends. But we're getting there. Being friends with lines. Yeah. Did I just make an innuendo? Make them slightly bigger. Being silly? Ah, okay. No, you're all good. I know that sometimes, like, saying something and then you're like, oh wait, hang on, I just probably could have worded that one better. And we're good. We're good? Alright. So how are we doing for time? Okay, so we're nearly an hour and a half in, and we have been working on the mask alone. I feel like we're still on a good track. And this is part of the face, so I don't feel bad for taking the time with this one. So a couple of scratches. Hey Mora, welcome on in. And fellow Kenyon enjoyers. At some point I'm gonna have to figure out a name for Chad. Okay, so now with the lines. Yeah, again, I didn't take a screenshot of what it looked like, but I think that this is looking a lot better. I'm happy with this result. Levels are still going to require another pass over it. Just the fact that this thing is now looking a lot more like 2D is making me happy. See, because the metal underneath it currently still looks very much just one color, so let's fix that, and after that we're gonna paint on some highlights on top of everything. Foot guards, nope. Mask, and then we had this diffusion and this one. Yeah, again, we're not doing clouds, we're not using fill layers for like randomness. With the stylized stuff, I'm beginning to learn that everything, or rather the way that with my workflow, it looks better if I do it by hand. Maybe up in the future we'll find a method to combine fill layers plus hand painted to quickly get to the look that we want. But I'm not there yet, so with this one I'm just gonna paint everything by hand, it seems. What do we use? We used brushes, hard brush, and I gave it a. Nope, that's a projection. Don't want that. I need an alpha. Substance, every time you freeze like that, you're giving me a minor heart attack. There's like the mindset that I'm in is just edgeware is always such a nice way to emphasize things. I think that's the current method that I'm just... Where am I going with this sentence? I'm just looking to accentuate all the edges of the metal now, though I also need to be some careful that it's not just looking like a trace. Blend it out, smears, smudges. don't like the highlight. Just get rid of it entirely. Okay, and a couple of highlights overall. Too many soft edges, don't like that look. Okay, cool. That's looking neat. I think I want to leave it to rest now for a little bit. One thing I do want to paint in a very slight bounce light in here. I'm going to make this one very, very, very soft. I feel like this mask is now in a better spot. Oh, we have advertisement in 20 seconds. Let me use those ads to like get up, stretch, get some water. And after that, I think I want to go to the next big thing, which is going to be the hair. Looking BA. Badass. Alright, cool. Advertisements are running 3 minutes, I guess. So, get up, stretch your legs, and get a glass of water. Hydrate. Okay, 20 seconds. Three, 2, 1. That break should be over. Alright, cool. So how does it look like if we add this to it? Okay, so the global fake light, I say, really brings it together. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. Yeah, alright, cool. Next big thing that I would like to fix is the hair. Again, looking at the reference, very sharp shadow information. That front lock absolutely has like a highlight, a shadow, and a couple of strands indicated in it. I know that in a previous session we added these anistrophics. Again, I'm doing the thing where I'm following the picture in my mind rather than looking at what is on the actual concept art. Because when I look at the art, you don't see individual strands. It's not actually there. This is me trying to fill in information that's not actually there. Which, if we're trying to get to the concept as much as possible, I shouldn't be doing that. I should not be filling in the blanks. Or like trying to add those type of things. So it's nice that I got them to work. But maybe it's better if I were to remove them and try to indicate that, hey, there's hairlines in there. More with like actual hand-painted highlights and shadows. So also the ambient occlusion might be a little bit too harsh. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to close the mask. Go to the hair, and I guess the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the anistrophics. Like, going back and forth on a lot of decisions. Again, learning a whole lot. You can absolutely be wrong about decisions that you made in the past. By looking at it a week later, having fresh eyes, and then going, actually, that decision that we made back then is not a good one at all. Just disable it again. So these flyaways are probably a little bit brighter. The red highlight is still... Yeah, that's still right where I want it to be. If I were to remove this or toggle mask, what does it look like? Because maybe we can just turn it into a... yeah, I'm just gonna turn this into a hand-painted layer. Right. And again, looking at the concept, looking at where the highlights are, and then going from there. Turn this off again so I don't accidentally overlap face. This is probably where we deviate from the concept quite a bit, because again, I did the thing where I have these baked normals. Looking back at them, it might have actually been better if I just made this front tuft into a singular geometry tuft and then hand painting things manually. But we're not going to go back to the high poly. We're locked in here. Again, first things first, dictating where the shadows are. And also absolutely looking at the model from a distance rather than being all zoomed in. Nope, zoom out. See where the plane changes are. Mimic those. Also, a storm is rumbling off at a distance. I hope that's not gonna cause my internet to go down. Got some ominous rumblings out in the distance. Actually, this is the bottom. The hair tuft, we can probably just paint this entirely. Keep hitting the wrong button. Hair time, yes. Hair. Oh yeah, please let me know if you hear any lightning rumbling in the background, because that storm is suddenly here. Sides. Huge swaths. Okay, so this is where things are a little bit iffy. Looking great, thank you. just paint in the major shapes first. And worry about the smaller areas later. Why can't I paint here? What's going on? Okay, so since this hair is symmetrical, I will do the block out symmetrical, but I'll break it up afterwards. So again, with the mask, I didn't want to do that because it is, like, if you look at the character up front and you notice the symmetry, it immediately breaks. However, with the hair, just looking at it from the front, you can't... Okay, the front is absolutely... like more noticeable if it's perfectly symmetrical, but it's a mohawk, so you can't really see both sides at the same time. This one I will use symmetry as a starter. Okay, this is where Again, I'm regretting the choice of me modeling in these hair strands. Now that I'm in the texturing stage, I'd much rather would have had it where it was just a single clump and we do the texturing detail in... Rather we do the detail in the texturing. We're learning. That'll be for the next character. Because now I have to keep in mind of, okay, looking at the reference image and looking at all the individual hair strands that I baked in. We'll make it work. And this happens with every project where you make a decision and then somewhere along the pipeline you're like, wait, actually I should have done that differently. This will happen inevitably. Don't kick yourself down too hard for it. Just take it in stride and do it better on the next project that you do. Yeah, the amount of times where that has happened to me, I've stopped counting. What if you kick yourself anyway? No, stop it. Don't kick yourself. I'm chewing on some words that someone has told me in the past. Something like that. A master has made more mistakes than a beginner has made attempts. Like people who've been doing this for a long time. You see them making all of these projects and characters and environments, and it looks like they're doing it flawlessly. What they are doing is they're banking hard on past experiences of where they have made the mistakes, and they chose to continue anyway. And then with the next project, they didn't repeat the mistakes. They looked at their work critically, went, okay, I made this mistake, I should have done that differently. Then in the next one, they admitted that mistake. They didn't repeat it. And the next project was even a minor step forward. Not impeded by how it looks at any given stage. Yeah, trusting the process, knowing that if you keep working on it, trusting the process, keeping at it, and knowing that in the end it will look in the direction that they want it to. And again, if you have the luxury of time, then you can absolutely just keep going at it. But at some point also please do make sure that you have a deadline in mind. And this is where I'm a hypocrite, because I have not set my timeline. I have not set a deadline for this character whatsoever. Again, do as I say, not as I do. Maybe I should set a deadline for this character, because we've been working on this for... Yeah, we started this thing back in August last year, or like beginning of September last year. Now granted, we are in the texturing phase, so we're nearly there. After this, it is getting it to work in Unreal, which... smiles. Absolutely is going to require some testing as well. The finish line is inside. Do I want this? No. This needs to be higher up.
Small businesses, telephone communication is still a kind of groping in the dark. Hello? Who's this? But now you
And then suddenly make 8,123 different versions of their VTuber. Yes. I am working on a 3D VTuber as well, and that thing has been in the fridge since last year, maybe April. I started it, I got a ZBrush block out for it, and then I decided, hey, what if we work on different projects? Oh, you'll figure out a deadline for me, Deke? Alright, let's sit together, as I have a couple of other projects that I'm also juggling. But yeah, it would be a good idea to... It would be a good idea to actually have some semblance of a deadline of, okay, let's try to work towards this one, because that does light a fire under my ass. So, Nop, 9 months. Thank you so much. The stream baby happened. What are we calling it? Oh god. I'm going to be cautious here, but I'm gonna let you name it. Finish it on my birthday. That would be the same date as my streaming anniversary, because I matched those 2 days up. So that will be September. And up, welcome on in. It's been decided. Oh god. And I'm being recorded. So, alright, fine. We'll see if we can get this guy to look good before September. Let's see, what do we have? We have a basic shadow block out. Probably want to blur the lines of some of these. Especially these ones higher up. Actually, I'll just fade them out a little bit with lower opacity.
So if your business isn't running as smoothly as you'd like, say hello to the Merlin system. Now you can overcome all that with the Merlin system from AT&T. It's incredibly easy to use.
Get the gradients in. Also, I made a little bit of a mistake because over here you can see that I painted on the mask, which is why we're getting all of these weird errors. Quickly get rid of that. Calling it Schmeckle. I snob. Okay. Stream baby number... Wait, no, this is stream baby number 2. Marin got the first stream baby. And I 100% absolutely positively remember the name of that kid. But yeah, the second stream baby we shall be named Schmeckle. That. Oh, Marin, we can absolutely go back in the VODs and then figure out the name of that stream baby again. Okay, this is not working with sense of symmetry turned on. out of it, or rather. You'll come through. Speaking of which, I will have to commit some time and actually upload the last few VODs. I've been neglecting those, so I don't think you'll be able to find that VOD just yet. But after which, yes, this evening I'll sit down, take some time to upload a couple of the VODs again. Depending on how that goes, everything should be up to speed again. How are we doing for that? Okay, 1 hour remaining. Cool. Yeah. If I find the Nibbit kit before you, then yeah, I'll definitely let you know. Oh, that's in 3 minutes again. Good. Now let's do the opposite. Let's paint up some highlights. So we'll just grab this one. Shadows, highlights. We're mucking up the naming conventions here because also here, like the fuse breakup, I'm slowly losing it on the naming conventions, which is kind of bad. Brighter. hair is becoming kind of a mess. Get it back. Welcome back from ads. We're still just painting highlights. Like this could be a little bit brighter. Almost pure white. Don't know how to feel about that. I do not need stencil technique for this. One more time, because I'm not happy with the highlights that are in the back, so I'm just gonna remove them. And again, rather than what I think it should look like, I'm really gonna look at the highlights of the reference and try to mimic those. So yeah, observation skills being one of the most powerful tools that an artist can have. Especially since I'm trying to become a production artist, the whole make what you see rather than what you think it should look like. Because yeah, as a production artist, the company is giving you a concept artist, or a concept artist has made the vision of what they want the character to look at. Sure, there's a couple of artistic liberties that you can get with that, but at the end of the day, it really should try to look as close as possible to the provided concept art. So that's what I'm shooting for here. So looking at this mohawk, the base is now just completely... The contrast between the scalp and the mohawk is completely gone. So I need to some highlights there again to help break it up. And I will follow the tufts that I made here. How do I want to do this? Turning on these two layers again so they can help me guide the eye a little bit. And we'll make it work. Oh damn, I don't have symmetry. Trying to figure out where I want these highlights to go, where to come from. And tone them down with a low opacity wave eraser again. Starting to get there. Okay. Have to do the same for the red. So let's see. Make a duplicate. But I have to make sure I'm not accidentally be painting on the other here. Another one, we'll call this red highlight. Okay, I'll also absolutely have to repaint a little bit of the ID map because that is a very jagged line up there, and I don't want that. hope that my microphone isn't picking this up, but the downstairs neighbor is absolutely sneezing their head off. Like, that is an impressive amount of volume that they need to do in order for me to hear it through the walls. And I wanted to repaint this one because this is just a color selection, so we're gonna add a paint. Just so we get this aliasing out here, the jaggedness. Can you hear sneezing? Think it's fine? Okay, good. Yeah, I would have been shocked if that one got picked up on the microphone. But just the fact that I can hear my downstairs neighbors sneeze, like I don't even hear conversations through the walls of this building. So to then all of a sudden start hearing sneezes, I'm like, wow, that's an impressive volume. This one, I think this is more to do with the brush that I'm using. This a little bit. Smooth it out. Okay. I think that looks nice. Let's get some of the line work in there. Stripes, paint, pencil. So with the line tool, because this is an overall layer, so I do have to make sure I don't accidentally start. If I were to make a line like this, now it actually goes over everything. It doesn't have an isolated mask selection, so I do need to be careful with that. So I have to make absolutely a certain amount of paint layer. Because otherwise we're gonna get things like this. I got logged in and I forgot to keep an eye on OBS. So, Fluffy Shepherd 13 and Juggleplay, thank you very much for the follows. Come on in. I hope you're doing well. Omega locked in, probably. Also, advertisement starting in a minute and a half. 30 minutes remaining. Let's see if I can run a mohawk so we can use symmetry again. Okay, it's getting there. Now for the back, let's see, reference. Yeah, they have a couple of these hair strands drawn in. Oh, welcome back from ads. We're still drawing lines. Adding a couple of asymmetrical lines. Okay, hang on, minor observation, because I do think we can make this mohawk stand out a lot more by actually like painting in like where the mohawk geometry actually begins and where the scalp actually is. Add a line here, just you almost on 30k channel points. Okay, cool. I really need to sit down and get some channel redeems. Been saying that for quite a while now. I'm aware. Couple of ideas. Just need to find a way to execute them. I think I just might know the person to ask. Far too thick. One thing, yeah, I mean, channel points are there for a reason. Like, let people do something silly with it. I always find it fun when you can do some silly stuff with it in other people's channels. I do think I want to have it in my channel as well. Just not being intrusive and like having a screen wide effect that will obstruct like the work that people want to see. Okay, again, working on details you're never gonna see. So how are we doing for time? 50 minutes remaining. Cool. I'm looking at it, and again, shadows, I feel like those can be a lot darker. Lights. Brighter. Though, can they? Because they're literally up against white. What do we do? I'll have to sit together with some friends to talk about this. So okay, I feel like the shadows can be drawn in a lot sharper. And then next time we're also gonna have to work on the hair in the back. But for what we have going now with the front of the mask and where we started and where we are now, I am very happy. Okay, what is something that I can work on briefly, like the last 15 minutes of the stream? The hair, ear tufts? Probably, because I'm looking at the shadows in the ears and I'm not quite fond of how they look. Especially the inside of the ears. But that is it. I think that comes primarily from this one. Now it's starting to... You can see the loading bar down below of it having to load in all of these layers again. Probably have to do something with memory. So it's nothing there. Fake lights. That is from the bottom. If I would look at these bright fur, use breakup, why do we still have this thing in here? I don't think this layer adds anything, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. So we have the darker fur. Oh, I did the fake light up top on everything. Okay, cool. We'll continue that pattern. Fake shadows, fake lights. Okay. Let me... Because on the concept art, it looks like there's a little bit of fur definition painted inside the ear fluff. I'm gonna try and mimic that. Turn off accessories briefly. Try to get in a core shadow. Touching these, but it will be going in here. be a lot more subtle. Is this an actual improvement, or is this now just starting to look? giving it a little bit more depth. I like that. I do believe that we've ended up on 6 o'clock my time. This has been another 3-hour stream, so that's a good one. Let's go see if some of my friends are online that we can raid into. Let's see. I spy. I spy Cherry. Let's go say hi to them. Cool. So yeah, thank you all very much for being here. I think we made a lot of good progress on the head, the mask and the hair and the ears, compared to where we were. Those slowly yet steadily we're getting better at getting the hang of how do we want to do the 2D painting. And the results are, in my opinion, pretty good. And now we also have a deadline thanks to Deke. We'll see if we can get this character finished by September. Now, let's see. Raid at Cherry Wick. So yeah, we're gonna say hi to Cherry. If you'd like to see more of me outside of these streams, I have a Blue Sky where you'll find my social media. You can find that over here. VODs are uploaded to YouTube. You can find the link down below the stream. And if you have my emotes, we can go for a Cozy Vibes raid as always. If you have my channel if you have my emotes, you can use my emotes. Otherwise, channel points to get my emotes, I believe as well. And then thank you all very much for watching, and I will see all of you again next week. Thank you all very much, and take care. Bye bye.